As all Marvel fans know, Groot is a character who's more about action than he is about talk. Possessing only a handful of words in his vocabulary that can be understood by humans, the tree-like superhero hasn't said much else other than "I am Groot" and "We are Groot" throughout his time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, each line apparently has a translation.
I am Groot.
Whoa! Wait.
Hey!
You got some acorns on you, kid.
For example, James Gunn revealed that Groot's final line to Rocket Raccoon just before crumbling into space dust in Avengers Infinity War translated to, quote, "Dad," because that ending wasn't sad enough already. And now, keeping up with what seems like a new tradition, Marvel gave Groot another intriguing final line in Avengers Endgame. Directors Joe and Anthony Russo revealed what the Talking Tree Boys said at the very end of Avengers Endgame when they spoke in a Q&A session following a screening of the superhero ensemble at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. A Reddit user who was in attendance detailed the Russos' answers to nearly 24 questions, one of which regarded Groot and the final words he uttered in Endgame. The last place fans saw Groot in Avengers Endgame was aboard the spaceship Benatar, watching as Star-Lord and Thor have a friendly but maybe not-so-friendly squabble. The two heroes exchange some jabs that they pass off as jokes before Drax the Destroyer chimes in and suggests they fight one another for the honor of leadership. After the other Guardians voice their support for a knife fight, the camera then pans over to Groot, who smiles and says, "I am Groot." According to the Russo brothers, that line genuinely means something. It translates from Groot's native language into English as, quote, "Yes, I like knives." So, there you have it. The entire Guardians of the Galaxy squad wants Star-Lord and Thor to settle their differences in a down-and-dirty knife fight, including little Groot.
He likes to play with knives very well. We shall indulge him.
While Groot's final line in Avengers Endgame isn't nearly as significant as the last word he said in Avengers Infinity War, that doesn't mean the phrase is completely without meaning in its own regard. Groot's last Endgame line leaves things with the Guardians of the Galaxy on a happy, silly note, which in turn establishes the tone for the next entry in the team's film trilogy. Groot joining in on the banter with the rest of the gang proves that the Guardians are back in good spirits after Thanos' original decimation in 2018 and the reverse snap Professor Hulk executed in Endgame. The team may be without Gamora, who got tossed over a cliff on Vormir so her dad could get a rock, but they've finally reassembled and are ready to locate their missing member. This last sequence for the Guardians in Endgame teases that they may go on a search for Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which would probably benefit from having Thor in tow, so long as he and Star-Lord can squash the beef between them, as unlikely as that seems at the moment.
You know Thor?
Yeah. Tall guy, not that good looking, needed saving.
It'll be interesting to see how the God of Thunder and the Lord of Dance get on in the third Guardians movie. Will their apparent rivalry dissipate before it gets out of hand? Or will it continue to grow until they have no choice but to sharpen their knives for a one-on-one fight, thus satisfying the twisted wishes of the rest of the team in the process? Star-Lord may have the advantage of his sweet dance moves to shimmy and shake around the hammer-wielding hero, and knowing Quill, he might even play by Butch Cassidy rules.
Rules? In a knife fight? No rules. What?
Well, if there ain't gonna be any rules, let's get the fight started. Someone count 1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go.
On the other hand, Thor is a god who can summon literal lightning. If the two were to ever really turn their verbal stabs into literal ones, Thor would probably end up winning. You know, as long as he goes for the head. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about Avengers Endgame are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.